Can I just say that I'm delighted to be here with Lord Deben to begin a discussion of Scotland's common interests in the north, including on this very vital issue of climate change. And we've just had a conversation about that before we came into this room. As most of you will be aware, last week both the First Minister and myself attended the UN Climate Conference hosted by Fiji in Bonn, better known as the COP. The countries of the world, with one exception, are now all signed up to the UN Paris Agreement. The strong global call to action to reduce emissions in order to avoid the most dangerous effects of climate change was very clear in Bonn. And there were American voices there speaking very strongly as well. Scotland is a world leader in tackling climate change with sustained progress against ambitious statutory emissions reductions targets. We're also one of the few countries to have proposed new legislation to set even more ambitious long-term targets in direct response to the UN Paris Agreement. Our high ambition was clearly recognised by the global community in Bonn. Climate change is most people would probably say, the defining issue of our times for all countries and all regions of the world. Scientists have highlighted the risks of feedback mechanisms and tipping points in the Arctic, which could greatly accelerate warming. So change in the Arctic matters, not just to the north, but to the entire world. In her keynote address, the First Minister highlighted Scotland's efforts to build closer alliances with our neighbours in the north, and our participation in the Arctic Circle is an important part of this. Two of the themes for this forum are innovation and sustainable development. I'd like to briefly explore these in relation to Scotland's approach to tackling climate change. The Scottish Government's bold, low-carbon commitments include phasing out the need for new petrol and diesel cars by 2032, introducing low-emission zones into our cities, and investing in innovative infrastructure such as electricity storage and sustainable heating systems. We've almost trebled our renewable energy output since 2006, and we've been proud to collaborate with Norway and Abu Dhabi to develop and open the world's largest floating wind farm. The Scottish Government fully supports the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We champion climate justice to avoid the worst impacts of climate change falling on the global poor and vulnerable. And we've recently confirmed more than £3.6 million funding to help developing countries tackle the impact of climate change. A third theme for this forum is science. Access to the best evidence plays a key part in the Scottish Government's approach to climate policy. And as such, I'm delighted to introduce the speaker for the remainder of the session, Lord Deben, Chair of the Committee on Climate Change. The Committee on Climate Change is the independent expert advisor to both the UK and devolved administrations on matters related to climate change. The committee brings together world-leading expertise on climate science, mitigation, adaptation, and is our go-to for advice and guidance. So I look forward to hearing Lord Deben's remarks and to join him in taking your questions for a few minutes after that. Thank you. Lord Deben.